little girl from Phenix City. And one of the kids told us, said, get on back across the river. You don't have anything over there but gambling houses and whorehouses, and we don't need you over here. And she came on up to the store, and it so happened that her mother had been killed by her father, and her daddy was in penitentiary, and she was in my Sunday school class.
You were stung by the shame of your hometown. You make a fighting speech before the Intercivic Council, the heads of all the clubs of Phenix City.
I heard Hugh Bentley make that talk, and I asked him to make the same speech before the congregation of my church.
That's the voice of the former pastor of Trinity Methodist Church in your town. Today, he's pastor of St. James Methodist Church in Montgomery, Alabama. Here's the Reverend Paul Matheson.
You mixed up Miss Williams.
What did Hugh Bentley say when you asked him to speak in your church, Reverend Matheson?
He said it would be dangerous if he did so for himself and for his family. I asked him that if Christ was not crucified, and he suggested that that was making it mighty hard. And I asked him, as a Christian, was he not able to make some sacrifices for Christ? And he stood for a moment, deeply moved, and then reached out his hand and took mine and said, Paul, I'm willing to pay whatever price it takes.
Thank you, Reverend.
From that time on, he kept on fighting.
Reverend Paul Matheson, now of Montgomery, Alabama. Thank you, sir. It was 1947 when you made that speech. At first, there are no reprisals against you because the first two reform groups you organized failed to make headway. The underworld laughs at you, being a network of police and political protection that reaches up to state levels. Then comes another killing in town. People are tried, not convicted.
We saw that a man's life was not worth a nickel in our town, so Hugh organized a committee of 10, and we declared war on that bunch of gangsters.
The man who helped you organize the Russell County Betterment Association and who became an utterly fearless fighter at your side. Here from Phenix City is your friend, Hugh Britton. Well, now, why did Hugh Bentley here set up a directing committee of 10 men, Mr. Britton?
So that our organization couldn't be intimidated one by one and shaken apart. Our idea was to begin raids, hire detectives of our own, and get the gamblers in the court.
Mm-hmm. Your first raid takes place when you get an anonymous note about slot machines. Now, what did the note say, Hugh Bentley?
Well, Hugh Britton happened to be in the office, and when I opened the mail, I saw this note, and it told us where some slot machines were. It was unsigned, and I turned around to Hugh, and I said, Hugh, if there's slot machines there, and this man is on the jury commission, it'd certainly help our cause. And Hugh said, suppose you hand me that note, and I'll see if there's some there.
So what happens on that first raid, Hugh Britton, huh?
We forced the sheriff's office to make the raid. Well, I got the newspaper and radio reporter to the scene so that they couldn't hide the evidence. We hauled slot machines out of that place for hours.
These first raids bring on the first ruthless reprisals by the gangs, and we'll hear about them in a moment. You relax a while here with your friend. He's going to stay there with you, Hugh. Two Hughs together for a minute. You've been together through a lot of things. While we look at something that plays an important part in the life of most American families, and it does in this one.
Well, day is done, and Dad's done in. Whew, what a rough one. Now for him, an ivory bath, pure pleasure. Look, he relaxes, and well he might. Why, ivory floats, stays right in sight. Twins, too, had troubles, scrapped all day. Now they're content. They love to play in ivory suds. Sure, suds galore. It lathers fast. This soap gives more. Poor Mom. Her problems came in pairs. Now she'll relax, forget her cares. In ivory suds she's soothed again. They're mild enough for baby's skin. Why, one can almost hear her say, a perfect way to end the day. An ivory bath is pure pleasure.
Back to This Is Your Life, Hugh Bentley, businessman, good citizen, and hero of the vice cleanup in Phenix City, Alabama. You choose Hugh Britton here as intelligence officer for your committee. You, Mr. Britton, are shot at while your wife and small son are in your car. Your garage is burned, and you miss death by a hair's breadth another time when your car is followed. Now, what took place that time?
I saw that car following me, so I pulled up and stopped in a neighborhood where I had friends. And two men ran to my car and jerked open the two front doors and held guns on me. And one of them said to the other one, well, let's take him on out like we'd planned. And the other one said, no. Said, I think we've been seen, but we'll get Britton later.
Yes, Hugh Bentley, when you all began the Russell Betterment Association, the RBA, it was to be war to the death in Phenix City. Thank you, Mr. Hugh Britton. Thank you. Here in 1951 and 1952, your first raids on slot machines and gambling setups have won you the hate of all the hoodlums in your town. Now at all hours, late at night, your phone rings, and when you answer, you hear voices like this.
Hello, Bentley. You're sticking your nose into things that don't concern you. You'd only out for push that house of yours in the lake, and you with it.